pretty much right here on these steps called Kings Stop Killing Kings, about us building each other and realizing that we are family and we can't keep hurting each other. That's what really what's going on in our communities. We've been misinformed. We've been taught that we ops, that we're not brothers and sisters. So when you start re-identifying each other as brothers, as family, then you can't hurt each other. Because I don't want to hurt my family. I want to continue to see my family grow and build. So that's what this is right here. This is another family reunion. This is not just a corner class. Everybody next to you is your brother or your sister. So when you start treating them as such, when we start building with each other, when we start seeing each other, and we start embracing each other and talking to each other and speaking to each other, when you're looking at a brother and you see him, that's energy. It's because you admire him. He ain't looking at you because he want to beef with you. He looking at you because he see himself inside you. And the sister the same way. So when we start identifying that and we start embracing each other, then we can get back to our rightful place. So before I leave here, I'm going to tell you why I do this work. I sat and talked with a legend and I eagerly listened. He told me how he marched with Dr. King because he believed in his mission. He invested his money in his people to change our people's condition, and all I could think as I heard this man speak with conviction is, I don't have the right to do nothing. Because Harry Belafonte sacrificed for people like me. So if he decided to do nothing, then where would I be? You see, if he was just content with his celebrity status, there wouldn't be a Justice League or Black Lives Matter. So I don't have the right to do nothing because we stand on the shoulders of our elders. We got to continue their fight against the system that failed us. Mr. B tells us, he drills in our mind, we got to carry this torch. You see, this is our time. Injustice is a crime, but it's about execution. And those directly impacted must be the solution. So I don't have the right to do nothing because revolution is a part of evolution. Because our forefathers weren't given no restitution. They were given destitution and treatment as inhumane. So if we ain't part of the solution, how the hell we gonna complain? So I don't have the right to do nothing. I'm on a mission. I'm screaming until they listen. Dr. King died for freedom. I'm carrying on tradition. My people want justice. I'm carrying that petition. Police is out here killing us. We're going to need some more convictions. Peaceful and passive are not the same thing. Know the difference. You are not supposed to lay down and die with no resistance. So I don't have the right to do nothing. I don't have the right not to fight for my life. It's a gift from God. So with all of my might, I will protect my freedom, my family, my home. I know y'all gonna fight with me. Y'all ain't gonna leave me alone. So when my feet get weary and I can no longer sprint, I sit and think about the babies that's dying in Flint. And then I say, I don't have the right to do nothing. God bless y'all, man. I want y'all to build. This is gonna be building. We're gonna build. Get up, stand up.
So, one of the things that, we always want to constantly do is, like I say, give back and give people some practical steps. How many of my entrepreneurs in here? Real estate investors. All right, so what have been some of the common obstacles that stop you?
Funding.
Funding, what else? Raising capital, what else? Information, what else?
Credit.
Time? Mindset. That's a very good one. Somebody said credit. What if I told you all those things are easy to get over? Would you believe me? Why? Y'all just said they was hard. So one of the biggest things that I always tell people, all those are easy. It's fear that really is what stops us. It's fear. Standing for false evaluation appearing real. It's a figment of our imagination. And this is where the mindset comes in at. See, I talk to so many young and up-and-coming entrepreneurs, and I talk to them and I say, how much money do you want to make? Or what's your financial goals? And they'll say, I want to do like 50,000 or 100,000 a year or whatever. And I'm like, why are you thinking so small? You can go get a job and do that. Because see, one of the things that I learned is that if you've never seen 50,000 a year, how can you see 50,000 a month? See, that's where that mindset comes in at. Your mindset is extremely important. Write this down. 80% is mindset. 80%. 80% of the challenge is your mindset. See, the how-tos is easy. We can teach everybody how to flip a house in a half an hour. But it's the mindset. It's knowing what your why is. Write that down. What is your why? Your why has to be so strong that it's going to drive you to get up out of the bed in the middle of the night and go and do something that's completely uncomfortable for you to get to your goal. Just like going to the gym. See, the best time to go to the gym is when you don't feel like it. Same thing when it comes to building your goal or your legacy. When you don't feel like going to the corner class because it's hot outside or whatever the case is, that's when you need to go. When you need to go and pick up that audio book or that book or whatever the case is, that's when you need to do it. Your why has to be so strong that you will do whatever you have to do legally. Let me point that out. Legally. To make it happen. Sacrifice. If I hadn't told you that, write that word down. Sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? See, I can remember moving to Las Vegas in 2005. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I moved to Las Vegas. I borrowed $500 and I had a garbage bag full of clothes. And I went out there with the mindset, get rich or die trying. Literally, that was my mindset. I told myself I was going to do whatever I had to do to position myself to get in position. Because, see, everything in life is really all about positioning. They say where you are today is a direct reflection of the decisions you made 3 to 5 years ago. So if you don't like where you're at in your life right now, think about the lack of decisions you missed out on, or the lack of opportunities you passed up on. And that's because a lot of times we grew up and we had a poor man's mentality. Poor. Who knows what that means? Has nothing to do with your financial situation. Poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. See, we pass over opportunities because it looked too good to be true. Oh, the J. Morrison Academy said I can make millions in real estate? That got to be too good to be true. But we'll go work a job for 40 hours after the dream they sold us about retirement, just so we can get that gold watch at the end of the 40 years. And try to live off the 40% from the retirement of the 100% we couldn't live off of. Y'all caught that?
Yeah.
See, so that's why we got to have a why. We have to change how we think. Start surrounding ourselves around like-minded people. See, we should even be using these opportunities after this class to be networking amongst each other. Your next business partner just may be in here. Your next multi-million-dollar opportunity could be in this space right now. And so in relation to understanding some of the strategies, because that's another word I want you to write down, strategies. See, it's not a lack of money, because I want to tell everybody, anybody in here enrolled in our J. Morrison Academy right now? Raise your hand. Okay, a couple of you. Give yourself a round of applause, absolutely. Because I'm going to tell you, our J. Morrison Academy is a curriculum that's changed people's lives. And I know people who went to college, no disrespect to college, who have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to come out to make $30,000 a year. Now, I dropped out of college, but I know those numbers don't add up to me. That's the college trap. And then we talked about, somebody said information is the thing that we are lacking, which is true. Because how many people know that information changes every 18 months? But we're trying to operate to get to financial freedom using information that we've never ever been taught. And then dealing with the college trap, think about what's the average time it takes to get a degree in college? How many? 4 years. We just said information changes how often? So by the time you get out, what happens with that information you just learned?
It's outdated.
And then you got to do what?
Go again.
Go right back to college. Y'all saw that? Y'all see that college trap? See, Mark Twain said, I never let schooling get in the way of my education. See, a lot of us, we graduate college and we think it's over. No, we got to still continue to educate ourselves. That's why we talk about the RBCs, which stands for real estate, business, and credit, the 3 pillars of information that you need to create financial wealth. How many people know that real estate is the easiest path to creating wealth? Because you can literally purchase real estate with no money out of your pocket. That's what we teach at the J. Morrison Academy. No, we show our students how to purchase real estate using credit cards. Ask me how. Not right now. We gotta get through this first. All right. Secondly, business. The fundamental steps of business are parallel. So no matter what you want to do as a business owner or entrepreneur, we can teach you those steps and strategies. Because we just said it's all about what? The word that starts with an S. Strategy. It's all about strategy. And then credit. I want everybody to write this down. Credit equals wealth. How many people believe that? Did you know when you have great credit, you can always get money from the bank? How many people knew that? Always. See, check this out. Let me see how much time I got. Y'all want to see something real quick?
Yes.
All right. So, when you have great credit, let's say 750 credit score, all right? You have a company, an LLC. Did you know there's a loophole in the banking system? Well, first of all, how many people have tried to get a small business loan before? How fast did they walk you out the bank? Really quickly. And so, that's because when you're trying to get a small business loan, the average approval rating for an SBA loan, who can tell me what they think the average approval rating is? The average approval rating is 2%. 2% of businesses will ever get a small business loan. Now, check this out. Did you know you can be 18 years old and get $100,000 in student loans?
Yeah.
With no credit.
Right.
But you can't get a $5,000 small business loan. Y'all see that?
Yep.
But check this out. Now I say check this out a lot, like I'm about to spit a rhyme or something. Been hanging with my son too long. All right. So, 2% small business loans approval. But the loophole in the banking system, when you have great credit and you have a small business, you can go to the bank and go after what's called revolving credit, which is in the form of credit cards, whether they're personal or a business line of credit. And as long as you have these components and apply for revolving credit, first of all, it's uncollateralized. Who knows what that means? Shout it out. Who knows what uncollateralized means? You don't have to put anything up. You don't have to have any collateral. Secondly, it's unsecured, meaning if you default on it, guess what? They can't come and take anything. Yeah, now your credit may take a bump or a bruise, but guess what? How many people know you can always repair your credit? Always. So, it's unsecured, uncollateralized, and it's also non-discretionary, which means that you can use the capital for revolving credit for whatever. See, if you get approved for a small business loan, and you say it's for this building that you're trying to open for a juice bar, guess what you have to use it for? Juice bar. You have to. But when you have revolving credit, guess what you can use it for? Whatever. That's how we're able to take credit cards and purchase real estate property with it. Now, here's the other, the beautiful thing I love about credit. The banks don't ask for no proof of income. Nobody got excited about that.
Yeah, wait.
Y'all like, damn, for real? Y'all still in shell shock, huh? Family, the money is not the problem. We don't have the strategies. When you have great credit, you have a small business, an LLC, you can go into the bank and get revolving credit in a form of credit cards or a business line of credit. No collateral, it's unsecured, uncollateralized, non-discretionary, and you don't have to show proof of income. And then when they do ask for income, guess what you can do? You can use what's called stated income. Who knows what that means?
Whatever you state.
Whatever you state.
Yep.
That was a trick question. Whatever you state. So, if you want to state you make $150,000 for the year, what do you put on the application?
$150,000.
And guess what the bank's not going to do?
Check.
They don't check. See, people have been playing this game forever. We just haven't been invited to the table. Secondly, you can use household income. Meaning you can combine all of the stated household income in the household and put on that application. And then for your business, guess what you can put down for the income? Stated. So last year, your business did $250K after expenses. And then 80% of the banks do not ask for
Tax return.
They do not ask for tax returns. That's some powerful information, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because how many small businesses in here right now have not filed their taxes? Let's keep it 100 for their business. Because a lot of us probably haven't made any income yet. So how powerful is it now? You need you need $20, $30, $50,000 for your business. You have great credit. You have an LLC. You walk into the bank and apply using stated income, stated projected business income, and being able to get lines of credit for $75,000 within the next 30 days. How many people with that? How many businesses would that help in here today? Now, check this out. I'm gonna take this a step farther. I got about 2 more minutes. Did you know if you have 5 companies, 5 LLCs, and you have great credit, how many of those companies can you go to the bank and do that same strategy with? All 5. Every last one of them. And then let's say there's 25 banks in the 5-mile radius of here in the Bronx. How many of those banks can you take those 5 LLCs to those 25 banks and get capital for? All of them. He said, oh shit. Powerful information, family. I'm telling you, the money is not the problem. We just lack the strategy. And then in the event, let's say your credit takes a bump or a bruise. Because how many people know in business, sometimes you may take an L. 80% of small businesses fail. It happens. But we have something where we talk about your credit partners or your family credit partners. Who knows what that means? You have somebody in your family or in your circle that has great credit. How many people know you can start building your children's credit as young as 13 years old? Those are your potential credit partners. You put them in position. Because then by the time they turn 18, they have great credit. See, a lot of us have been our parents' credit partners and we didn't know it. Yeah, that's right. How many people had a light bill in their name before they was 18? Cable bill. You couldn't even spell cable and you got a So we were our parents' credit partners. But because they had the wrong information, what did they teach us?
The wrong information.
They taught us the same thing. So then we put bills in our kids' name. I know a lot of people that had Sprint back in the day that went delinquent. They was giving everybody a phone. And so in that case, your credit takes a bump or a bruise. You have a credit partner with great credit. So guess what you can do now? Now I can take my credit partner who has a 750 because we helped them build his or her credit up. Add them on to my company. We're going to go now and create what's called an operating agreement. And now we can take my business partner's great credit, my company that I own, create an operating agreement. But then on the operating agreement, we're going to put that credit partner owns 90% of the company. Now, some people, they may be like, well, why do they own 90%? It's all about what? What's the S word? Strategy. It's about strategy. Just because they own 90% on the paper, that doesn't mean they get 90% of the profits. See, this is why we need to understand business. You can own 0% of the company and get 100% of the profits. How many people knew that? It's not about the percentage that you own for your profit margin. It's about what's on that operating agreement that you guys have an agreement on. So now the operating agreement is strictly just for banking purposes. So nobody else gets access to this but the bank. So we're going to take the great partner's credit, we're going to take the LLC, we're going to take that operating agreement, and now we can take this individual or this entity to any bank and go after and get the revolving credit. So if your credit is not in position right now, does that stop you from getting access to what we call the bank's money? No. Okay, does it? No. I need y'all to get louder. Does it? No. Absolutely not. So is it the money that we're lacking as business owners? No. Is it the credit? Because guess what? All credit can always be rebuilt, restored, and repaired. And how many people actually believe that? You can have a bankruptcy and still rebound. Because how many people know bankruptcy is just asset protection? Did anybody know that? It doesn't mean you're broke. It does not mean that you're broke. You're protecting your assets. Because even in the event, if you had to file bankruptcy, one of the things I normally only recommend people file bankruptcy for if their wages are being garnished. Because your wages are your what? Your assets. Your wages are your assets. All right, y'all felt like y'all learned something here today so far? Mm-hmm. Y'all sure? Yeah. All right, make sure if you're streaming this that you're hashtagging, you're forwarding, all that good stuff, live stream, make sure you're liking, sharing, all this good content. And so, I think we're about to bring up our next guest here for a second, or in the minute. Say that one more time.
One partner got bad credit, the other got good credit.
Okay, so the king said if you have an LLC and one person has good credit, the other person has bad credit, what do? That's where you create an operating agreement. Because with that operating agreement, the person who has the great credit score, on paper, you make them 90% owner of the company, because the banks will not ask for anybody who has 15% or less of the company. They don't pull their credit report. That's the strategy. That's game. That's game. Now y'all want to listen on this side. I'm gonna just go over here, all right? So you have one person that has good credit. Good credit. This person has bad credit. With the now, let's say you have an LLC partnership. That means both of you guys are on a company, and let's say originally you did 50-50. So what you want to do is you want to create an operating agreement. And you can actually pull a standard one off the internet. It doesn't have to be one you got to go and pay a bunch of money for. On that operating agreement, it basically determines what the duties are of each individual partner. And so on there, you want to put down that the primary person of that LLC, which is the person who has great credit, owns 90% of that company. Only on paper. The person whose credit is being worked on or that's challenged at the time owns 10%. Because the banks will not request the credit reports for anybody that owns 15% or less of the company. So then when that's the case and you go to the bank, now you can go and get the bank's money. Did that help y'all, King?
Yes.
All right, one more question. Yes, sir. Oh, you good? Okay. Ready? All right, so was that good so far, y'all? Yeah. I feel like y'all still getting fed?
Yeah.
See, we bringing that financial soul food to y'all here. All right, so next person I want to bring up is somebody who's definitely near and dear to me. I always call her my big little sister because
and we cannot community build until we can relationship build. And that relationship starts with us, with me and you, with husbands and wives, with daughters and mothers and sons and fathers. So that is how we are going to build legacies for our family. That is how we're going to unite as a people, is that we fix, mend, repair, or restore our relationships. So in the spirit of black and brown love, I will leave you guys with this. Y'all good?
yeah.
I often wonder, if I was hopelessly hanging from a cliff, would you reach your arm out to save me? If I was desperately gasping for air, staring in the face of death, would you press your brown lips against mine and bless me with one last breath? Or have they made you completely forget about me? Black men, I'm speaking to you, because it seems as over the years you've lost your love for us, but your love for them grew. But let's not forget, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And it's not that she can't love you, it's just that, black man, I was made for you, sculpted by the hands of God to love, feed, nurture, protect, and compliment you. And there is no ands, if, buts, or maybes. It was the black woman's breast milk that even fed the master's baby. You were young and fell and scraped your knee. It was your mother who was there to tend the stitches and fix your britches. See, the black woman has always been the black man's saving grace, but somewhere between L'Oreal commercials, tanning salons, lip injections, and ass shots, you've put us on a cultural rat race, leaving us with just enough fucking self-esteem for us to chase. Chase a dying breed of a man that's running so far and fast from home, we feel the need to pick up the pace, spewing words of vulgarity, calling us every name in the book. But the Bible says unto a woman, a man is supposed to speak life. The Bible says the man that's found a good thing is the man that's found a wife. But you freely spit these words of obscenity, robbing us of our royal grace. How could you call a black woman a bitch and go home and look your mama in the face? In society, we have you thinking the grass is always greener on the other side, but trust and believe when shit hits the fan, the bounce in her hair won't stop her from walking you and those papers straight to Chase. And on that we can bank. Black men, let me help you. The grass is greener where you water it. The more you water, the purer the fruit. And if you study the origin of your true history, you'd be watering at the root, because mass media won't educate you on your royal oats. See, they'll have you thinking our history started and we were shipped over in those boats. See, they want to make you forget about black queens like Umbina, the queen of Zaria. Candace, the Empress of Ethiopia, the Queen of Kemet, Nefertiti. See, those are the faces you would never see on TV. And black men don't think shit changed because ain't shit changed since the 60s. They doing everything but wearing white hoods, burning down churches and flags. Every chance they get, they'll Kim, Courtney, and Chloe your ass. And I cried tears as I wrote these words because I'm standing here open like king. What about me? What about your queen? Don't let these false images of society make you run. There are still good black women out here walking fresh out of the pages of Proverbs 31, and we are crying out like I'm all you need. I'll sew the thread, I'll bake the bread, I'll keep you mentally, spiritually, emotionally fed. Black man, I will pull greatness out of you. I'm preparing myself for the day, like the Bible says, you leave your mother and father, and we become one. I would happily give you your first son. We'll be a great team, and we'll do things like I'll teach him how to tie his shoes, and you teach him how to drill the screws, and I'll make us all dinner, and you could just do the dishes. But mass media has convinced you to need 2 chains and need 2 bitches. But just like your mama when you fall, I'ma always be here to tend the stitches and fix your britches. And my soul grows weary and my heart sometimes stings because through all the trials and tribulations, every inch of my body still believes the black man is king. And in case you didn't hear me, yes, the black man is king, and I'll bow down at his presence. And I believe God cut me from his ribs so I can mirror his essence. Black man, take care of it, and it will take care of you. Take care of home. Treat your woman like a precious stone. With clean hands and a clean heart, touch her soul. Thank you. Thank you guys. Y'all ready to learn something today? I was loud enough. Y'all ready to learn something today? All right, man. Today, I think my husband, Jay Morrison, is going to set it off. He is feeling good today, so I can't wait to see what he brings. But before that, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing a man who has been embedded in the fabric of our culture for over 3 decades now. You've seen him on the movie screens and the TV screens, actor, philanthropist, actor. Shit and get it right back. No, how about buy some land, build that shit, and lead the pack. Or invest that shit, and watch it stack. Watch it rack, watch it make your money back. Like double that, triple that. I'm trying to show you the format of how the rich get wealthy and stay wealthy. How they keep their pockets healthy and stay healthy. I'm trying to give you the cheat sheet of how a group of like-minded individuals came together to build the whole Black Wall Street. Like, here's the formula. That same bag of weed you buy every day is $20 a day, times 7 days a week, times 4 weeks a month, times 12 months a year. That's $6,720. That's 3% down on a $200,000 house. And in case you were unaware, it only takes 3% down to purchase a whole home. That's something you own. That's seeds you've watered, planted, grown, and sown. See, when you have a strategic plan, you won't ever have to call anybody landlord because you'll be the lord of your land. See, we need to stop this generational curse and build generational wealth. Yeah. We need to stop this generational curse and build generational wealth. We need to stop strictly being consumers while working backwards and digging a ditch and making everybody else's family rich. Like, pop quiz. How do you know what a WCW means and you don't know what an ROI is? Or your FICO score is? See, our relationship with finances need to get way stronger. Like, we need to build a way better rapport. Like, you cute and all, but I'm gonna need you to know your credit score. Like, how many of y'all have money in stock? How many of y'all own a piece of the rock? See, as a people, we need to set way higher financial goals and have more power and control. We need to know less about sports and own more houses and stores. Own some shit you can really call yours. Cause newsflash, it ain't really your hood if you don't own no doors. See, this tainted system we live in is own or be owned. You can buy or be loaned. And you can listen to these words or not. I'm just trying to get you to see the power of buying back the block. Thank you. What's up, bro? I need y'all to be louder than that. What's up, bro? Man, y'all showed out. I am feeling the love. We came to love on you guys. We are so grateful when you guys show up. Listen, every everybody who's in attendance today, these are the people in your city that you want to meet. These are the change makers. These are the people who are trying to build generational wealth. You guys are the ones who try to build legacies for your families. Everybody needs to leave here with 2 and 3 and 4 numbers. Meet your next business partner. Meet the next person that God put here to align you with. That's what this is all about. This is more than real estate, business, and credit. This is about building a legacy. So I'm happy to see all these beautiful black and brown faces out here. So I wrote that poem.
What? They love to hate you when you black like me. What? They love your music when you black like me. Yeah. Try to abuse you when you're black like me. Now check it. Born in the South Bronx. What do I want? I want to build buildings. I ain't gonna front. This is a freestyle. I'ma keep it crisp. Just like that, you couldn't imagine this. Bring it to the block where the dude sold rocks. That's what I said. I was a TV cop. Top to the bottom and now to the top. Ball from the bottom. One word. Please repeat. Intention. We
Everybody say overflow. Overflow. Everybody say overflow. Overflow. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Not you, not you. Everybody get up for being a black. Y'all ain't get that. Some of y'all too young. All right, so we talk about having an overflow, an abundance, an overflow of assets. Now, Vanna Black turn. What are some assets? What are assets? Let's define assets.
Things that make you money.
Assets, land.
Stop.
Real estate.
Stocks, bonds.
Stocks, bonds. Precious metals. That's precious metals. Gold is precious metals. Things that hold. Things that hold.
Value.
Or appreciate in value. What's appreciate mean?
Grow.
Everybody say go up.
Go up.
What's depreciate mean?
Go down.
So when we buy them Rolls Royce trucks, we drive them off the lot. What do?
Depreciate.
They go down in value. Let's talk about that. Don't even clip it. Just be ready. No. We're going this way. We're going this way. So we need an overflow of assets, an overflow of real estate. Businesses are an asset. Stocks, precious metal, things that hold and go up in value. But see, our people, I ain't say just getting a bigger bag. See, it's not just the abundance of assets. So, Mike, what happens is we get a nice advance check, we get a real estate flip, we get that student loan refund, we get that lawsuit money, we get that income tax refund money. We get some assets, but then soon we get some more assets, what we do? Spend that shit. So wealth is not just you getting assets. That's one half of the equation, my people. It's not just you getting a bag, but it's how you control that bag and have an overflow of those assets that supersede. What does supersede mean? Everybody say surpass.
Surpass.
Everybody say beat out.
Beat out.
So we need an abundance and overflow of things that hold and go up in value that beat out things that are liabilities and debt. What are liabilities?
Losses take money. Things that take money.
Name some. Let's name some liabilities.
Bills, cards.
Cars, clothes, that student loan debt, that loud bill you got. You thought because I got corporate, I don't know. Them happy hour martinis you got. Things that go down in value, expenses. So what we saying, if we want to build family wealth, is that we gotta be intentional. Everybody say intentional. Intentional. What's intentional mean? Say it again. Everybody say on purpose. On purpose. Everybody say on purpose. On purpose. So that means we gotta be on purpose. We gotta build more assets, an overflow of them, King, that supersede all the money we're spending on all the liabilities. So we gotta put legacy over the liabilities. So what we do, we get more money, and because many of us come from below the poverty line or from struggle or check to check, the first thing we want to do is show everybody in the community that I came up. So look at my things, look at my cars, look at my bags, look at my belt, look at my vacation. All these liabilities to prove to everyone that we done came up, but then we broke and have no assets for our heirs. Because we so focused on the wrong things. We want to impress the Joneses, but our last name ain't Jones. So, what we got to do in building family wealth, first and foremost, somebody has to be intentional as what we call the CEO for our last name. What CEO mean?
Chief Executive Officer.
Say it again.
Chief Executive Officer.
One more time.
Chief Executive Officer.
For those who don't know, they're saying Chief Executive Officer. The CEO, here's what they do though. The CEO, I need B to say leader. Leader. B say leader. Leader. X say and visionary.
Visionary.
The CEO of the organization is the leader and visionary of the organization. The CEO is the one that has his or her head up, looking at the future success of the organization. So where are them Morrisons gonna be in 2025? In 2045? In the year 3000, when I may be dead or gone, what assets will the Morrisons have? I'm thinking about the future of my last name. See, in an organization, there's a such thing called the COO, or Chief Operating Officer. The Chief Operating Officer has his or her head down, focused on the day-to-day maintenance of the business. But the CEO is the one that's looking at the future of the organization. So in order for us to build family wealth, somebody got to step up to say, hey, I'm going to be the one, the patriarch, the matriarch, the leader and visionary for my last name to make sure that we straight moving forward in life. So if you didn't inherit assets, no one left you abundance. It's up to you to leave your family abundance in this lifetime.